Good morning, and welcome back to Daily Dhamma, a letter to our children. Today is February 9th, and our reading is What People Want. The reason so many people misunderstand so many issues is not that these issues are so complex, but that people do not want a factual or analytical explanation that leaves them emotionally unsatisfied. They want villains to hate and heroes to cheer, and they don't want explanations that fail to give them that. And that's Thomas Sowell, Dismantling America, Random Thoughts. Once again, the purpose of the Dhamma is to shed light on our own stuff, not to lay mumbo-jumbo on anyone else. If this is useful, fine. If it's not useful, then that's fine too. This is just one more reason, not that we need one, to love Thomas Sowell. He has also said in other places, "Don't confuse me with the facts, my feelings are made up." And I'm right with him on that. Especially today, modern people really want something that strokes their ego and makes us feel all warm and fuzzy and superior to other people and like that. And that is not necessarily conducive to the creation of a civil society in which people can agree to disagree about things without vilifying the other person. Ajahn Chah used to have fun with this too. People would show up at the monastery out near Laos, up in northeast Thailand, and say, "Hey, I disagree with Kama." He'd say, "Oh, is that right? Why don't you explain to me how you think the universe works?" And that cracks me up. Just because we disagree with somebody doesn't mean that we have to have an opinion on their thing. It also doesn't mean that we forego having any opinions of our own. People have a right to decide what they want to believe and a right to go on their own spiritual quest to find that meaning in their life. So we wish everybody the best of luck with that. Eric Hoffer may have had that in mind when he decided, after his career as a longshoreman for 21 years, followed by his years as a University of California at Berkeley professor, to forego a public career. He said that anybody can ride a train, but it takes a wise man to know when to get off. This puts me in mind of Mrs. Dhamma as well. She doesn't argue with people. We sometimes compromise and do it her way, or other times we compromise and do it her way. It's also worth noting that just because somebody disagrees with the Buddha, or with Ajahn Chah, or with Thomas Sowell, or with Mrs. Dhamma, doesn't mean that they are racist. They're probably spiritually and intellectually impoverished, but certainly wouldn't want to accuse anybody of racism for that stuff. Thomas Sowell confounded many people. He said, among other things, "Racism is not dead, but it is on life support, kept alive by politicians, race hustlers, and people who get a sense of superiority by denouncing others as racists." At another time, he said, "The word racism is like ketchup. It can be put on practically anything, and demanding evidence makes you a racist." Down with him. What a guy, huh? Happy trails to you until we meet again.